Okay, so as I say, today's session is just to talk about the Expo, what the benefits are for producers to attend. So this session is dedicated to food and drink producers, to let you know sort of why you should be part of this event, what the benefits are, what the opportunities are, and it'll be myself and Kerry Ritchie as well speaking. She's from SAC Consulting. So the event is in its second year, and the whole idea of the event is to basically connect hospitality. So it's to give food and drink producers the opportunity to get their products to other hospitality venues in the Tay Cities region. So it's about getting more Scottish food and drink produce to local people, but also for visitors to enjoy as well. So this business to business event is a platform to provide those opportunities for those discussions to be had, and just to basically put you guys in front of buyers. So it can be anyone from cafes to restaurants to hotels to supermarket buyers and regional buyers. So we want to connect you and give you the platform and opportunity to have these discussions. So that's the aim of the event, and also I think it's a really good development opportunity to learn some new skills and network along the way. I'll let Kerry speak to you a little bit more about the opportunities, and then I can go through the technicalities. So I'll just hand over to Kerry, and I will start sharing my screen so that you can see her presentation. Just give me a sec.
Do you want to go into slideshow first? Perfect, thank you.
Everyone see it, yeah?
Yeah, that's, can you hear me? Yeah,
yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, that's perfect. Right. I just pulled these together literally this morning just to try and sort of help out and I guess refresh some of the training we've delivered over many years relating to this sort of event, albeit obviously this is online, so I've added an extra slide in about online. For those of you that were at the recent training event we did, the get together we did for Appetite for Angus, some of this will be familiar, but it's always good to refresh anyway. If you're anything like me, I forget things very quickly, so hopefully this will be useful for you. So if you go to the next slide, Sophie, please. So I guess what I'm thinking here is why would I bother doing the expo? What am I going to benefit from this? And I jotted down a few things. I should say I'm an ex-buyer myself. I used to be a category manager for the CWS, which at the time I worked there had 11% of the grocery sector, so pretty big. So I'm kind of have been there, done it as a buyer. Okay, so that's my background. So why would you want to do the Tay Cities Expo? Well, obviously it gives you a chance to make new contacts, meet people, to meet outlets of, you know, whichever ones you want to meet in the local market, but also in neighboring regions, so across the Tay Cities area. And some of the people you'll be meeting will have will buy for a larger region than that. So it's a major opportunity here to actually, if you want to do this for your business, to actually go out there and meet some new outlets and expand your reach. You can make new contacts, whether you end up delivering and supplying them or not. You'll still make new contacts, you'll make a new network, and that's immensely useful when you're developing your business to broaden your sounding board and keep these contacts warm, create relationships and build them. And actually you never know when they're going to be useful for you. What do they say? Never burn any bridges. It's all about making contacts, and business is about people, and this is about a chance to meet different people. It gives you an opportunity to grow your brand recognition. So whatever stage you're at, whether you are working from home and creating fantastic bespoke artisan products from home, but you want to do something different and you want to get out and about a bit more and increase the outlets your products are sold in, this will give you that opportunity. But also to say, look, this is my brand, this is what I do, this is my story. And then, you know, that story, we've done various training events on developing your story, then telling your story. And this is a chance to tell it. You know, this is a chance to get out there and tell people about yourself. You can learn at these events. You should always do more listening than speaking when you're meeting with a buyer. Buyers like to be heard, but also you use that as an opportunity to learn and gather information about what they're looking for, what ticks their boxes, you know, what are their ethics, what's their story, what are they trying to create in their outlets. So great opportunity to learn more and to gather more market information and to get feedback on your products and on your direction of travel. So you get to understand lots of different outlets. You get to understand the opportunities there might well be for your business and also the requirements those outlets have. And after finding out more, it might not match, but better to know and find out than to go headlong into something and you're not making money at it. So, you know, it gives you an opportunity also to understand how to what they're looking for in terms of how you operate, supply, distribution, price, case size, bottle size, whatever it is you do, you can gather that information. And doing this event as an online event also gives you the opportunity to create some brand collateral for future business-to-business events. Can we have the next slide, Sophie, please? Thanks. So essentially, I've kind of titled this what, why, what, how. So the next bit is essentially, well, what do I have to do then? You know, so obviously we've covered a lot of this in recent sessions, but some of you won't have been there. So the main thing is that you prepare, you know, before you get in front of your camera, which goes in front of the buyer, you prepare. So you know what you're trying to achieve. So find out about the business. You'll have a list of the businesses. You need to understand that. When only a few times did I have people come through my door that had never been into one of our shops, and there's nothing more frustrating because it's like they don't care. So try and understand a bit about the business you're pitching to. You know, what are they trying to achieve? What's their story they're trying to create? What's their ethos? What's the range? What competitor products are there? You know, but also have clear objectives of what you want to achieve. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. You know, so think about what you want out of this. Be strategic about it. This is your business. You know, be strategic about it. Your time is valuable. So what do you want to achieve? What products do you want to put out there? What ranges? Those sorts of things. And also at what price? You need to give that some good thought. And I've got some hints and tips about that later. But so essentially you can have a little bit of a strategy is quite a grand word, but you can have a bit of strategy about, you know, how the conversation might go and be prepared for that. Think about the questions you might get asked if there is that opportunity. I can't remember, Sophie, whether there is or isn't, but, you know, be prepared to think about how you would react to those. And you need to know your limitations. That's the limitations in terms of cost, in terms of outlet offers. Sorry, there's a spelling error there. You know, you need to make a profit. So you need to cost out your different scenarios around your product and think creatively about your offer. You know, are there other people, you know, neighboring businesses that you think, actually, is there something we can do together there? If you've gone and looked at their outlets or looked at the cafe and what its offer is, what type of food it offers, then, you know, put your product in there, you know, show that you've done that by saying, actually, this will work really well with X, Y, and Z that you have listed, that you offer, and that sort of thing. So you're basically there demonstrating how your product could fit with that buyer's outlet, whether it be a cafe, a restaurant, a hotel, or a retail premise. If you can have the next slide, please, Sophie. So I've just got 2 more slides. This one is really about the actual pitch you're going to do, and I've got one on online pitching just with some extra few hints and tips. The main thing to remember about a sales pitch is to make it memorable. You know, a pitch is a bit like getting on an airplane or a flight. You get on the airplane, you remember to take off. The bit in the middle is a bit boring, and then you remember the landing. So you've got to make sure that you've got a really good start and a really good end, because you want to be remembered. So start with a hook, attract attention, be thought-provoking. Demonstrate something that, oh, did you know X about the marketplace? This is why we started producing this product. Did you know consumers were looking for B, and that's why actually we've built this into our product? So B, have a hook, be provoking, to have impact. And then you've got to sort of say, well, identify the problem that your product's going to try and solve. And you can align this to the buyer that you're actually targeting. If you've got a hotel that's trying to spruce up its image, then you can sort of say, this would work really well in rooms as a wee snack, or as an offer with your coffee, thinking about fudge or something like that. So just think about the problem that you could help them solve, and demonstrate that your product's the solution. Briefly, but demonstrate it's the solution, and why it would be feasible to list your product, and innovative, and it would create interest for this outlet. You have to have thought about the money. How much is it going to cost you to deliver? How are you going to do it? Find about their distribution, all those sorts of things, because you've got to make sure you're making money. There's no point in having the business if you're losing money. So think about your costs, know your costs, understand your costs. Think about the cost of scaling. Think about the price point you'd like, if it's a retail out, you'd like them to retail it out, and think about there in terms of what margin will that make them. And think about margin not only in terms of percentage, think about it in terms of cash. Because if you've got a high value item, you might have a smaller percentage, but the cash is king. Cash will speak. So think about the margin in terms of cash as well. You've got to think about the risk here. You've got to think about the risks of not supplying them, failing to deliver, the risks of IP if you're at that sort of stage with your product, competition, production, supply chain, all those sorts of things. Make sure that if you're taking something on, it's not going to cripple you. You can actually do it positively and profitably and sanely. If you're a small business and you're on your own, you've got to think very clearly about that. It's always useful to demonstrate the team behind a product. It's always useful to, even if it's a family business and you feel it's just you, it's not just you. You can be creative about your team. You can bring the family story into that. You can bring the dog into it or whatever. Think about that creatively, laterally, and demonstrate that, this is what we are, this is our skills, this is what we bring to us, this is our experience. So do that. That's really important. And then in terms of demonstrating traction, what have you done to get to where you are now? There's a bit of a story there. What's your customer base? You can build all this into a 60-second pitch. Think about that, the traction. What have you done to get to where you are? Be proud of it, demonstrate it, be positively positive, if that makes sense. And in the end, you've got to end with an ask. Give them something to come back to you. Don't sort of say, oh, well, that's it, thanks very much. Just say, and what do you need me to do? Or if I was to, what would this mean to you? What action do you want that buyer to take? So think about those sorts of things. If we can move on to the next slide, Sophie, please. And finally, I've put this in because we used it in our pitching webinar that we did for Appetite for Angus, because actually, we're all so used to talking to screens as I am now. And, in lockdown, we've become quite adept to brushing up on our digital skills. But pitching to a buyer is slightly different. You might be creating a video here to do this. So actually, you've got to think about that. And you can't shake hands. You can't handle a product, pass it to them. They can't pick it up. They can't feel it. You can't be giving them samples and stuff unless you've organized a way to do that. So, eye contact, body language, they change the dynamic when you're online, but you've got to be aware of these things. Think about the impact you're making. You're almost acting out a role when you are presenting or pitching digitally. So think about little things like the background behind you. This is probably the tidiest part of my house. But I hope you think it's tidy. But think about that. So keep it very minimal. If you've got something business-wise, brand-wise, use that. That's fantastic. Remember, when you know yourself, when you're online, the first thing you do, you're not looking at the person. You're looking at the books on the shelf, or the fact that there's a pile of washing in the background, or there's washing on an area or whatever. So, you don't want to be distracted. You want the buyer to be listening to you. So think about that. They've got to be focused on you. So find somewhere where there are no distractions, this minimalistic background, and it's nice and space, and they're listening to you. Now, usually you pitch when you're standing up, and it's easier. You're more confident when you're standing up. It's easier to breathe. The posture's all better. So if you can stand, if you're doing a video, pitch it, stand, walk around, be somewhere really active, you know, do something like that. It might be where you're making something, you know, maybe that would add a bit of interest. If you feel better standing, do that. It's got to be what's comfortable to you. And what I have not done this afternoon, because I've got 10 minutes, and what I think you should do is embrace the pause. We all get nervous. We all get nervous when we're presenting. It's easy to start talking very fast and never stop, as you can see, as I have just demonstrated. But think about it. When we pause, especially digitally, it's very useful. It makes a point. So actually embrace the pause. Use the limited time you've got available to best effect and really highlight your key messages. If you can keep eye contact, fantastic. You know, I'm looking at this camera now and I've got my presentation in front of me with my notes. And on my other screen, and I know everyone doesn't have two screens, but on my other screen is the PowerPoint presentation that you're seeing. If you've got that facility, use it, because there's nothing worse than I'm talking to you like this and all you're seeing is the top of my head. Okay, so think about things like that and try and keep eye contact. As with any pitch, plan, prepare, practice time and time again. I recorded a wee video for Martha and Food from Fife about this time last year, and I think I recorded it 30 odd times. It was only 2 minutes because my hair was in the wrong place, or it was the wrong side of my face, or I felt I looked fat, or whatever, you know. God, you know, practice, 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 practice. You cannot get enough practice. It's really important. And as with any pitch, start and finish with a bang. Make it memorable, that hook at the beginning, and then at the end, that question, that call to action. What are you expecting from this? You know, so that you've got a reason to be back in touch with them. You're not just going to be one of the many people on one of the many videos they see. Now, I haven't embraced the pause. I have gone through that very quickly. I'm happy to take any questions, but I hope that's been useful. Thank you.
That's been fantastic. Thank you, Kerry. That was great and really inspiring to get that overview of what, you know, producers need to be able to include to promote the event and their participation. So thank you. I'll just stop screen sharing.
Ooh.
Obviously this year is different. So it's a virtual event. So it's a virtual business to business platform. So we have our website. So you'll see we've sent you your producer packs, which you answer all the questions about your business and input all the details. And we will upload that for you. And we've also asked for a video to promote your business as well, which includes the pitch, which Kerry spoke about. And we've run various workshops to support you in this as well. So I'll just show you a demonstration of how the Tay Cities Expo website will look, just so you can get an idea of how the producers' profiles will be displayed. So this is how the website is. So we've created a dedicated website, the Tay Cities Expo, which is where you'll be able to, where the buyers will be able to have exclusive log on. So we have over 35 buyers that will be attending the event, and this is a legacy event, so it's going to be live going forward, which means that more producers and more buyers can interact with this event. So I'll just give you an example. So we can click into the producers, so they'll all be listed here. So this is the sort of online platform that the buyers will see when they log in. And I'm going to use Toll House Spirits as an example, just so you know how your profiles will look. So the buyer will click in and you can see a little bit of an overview. So we've split it into the Scotland food and drink categories. The food and drink categories, so Toll House fit under the alcoholic drinks. A little overview. You can have images on here, and then their professional pictures here. So I can show you this. Can everyone hear it? Okay.
We're named after the family home of our late mum Ruth, retired to Toll House outside. We're a family business. I'm joined by my sister Angie and my husband John, and our kids can often be seen joining in too. We have a growing range of products, all of which are made in our facility in our growth. They're distilled with the help of our distiller Lewis, and then we bottle them and label them by hand. And we also wax dip them, which is a bit of a labour of love, but we think it gives a really nice finish. Our range includes our original gin, which was launched in 2017, and we've also got a range of fruit gin liqueurs, of which there are 4: raspberry and pomegranate, blood orange and rhubarb, our ever popular passion fruit and mango, and our newest one, which is strawberry and elderflower. Last year, we launched some fruit-infused gins, and we also created our Expo Ready gin. We're not just about gin though, we've also got a spiced rum in the range. We're currently busy creating a range of products which will raise funds for Pop Scotland, and we're really lucky to have picked up a few awards along the way. We recently opened our retail shop in our growth, and from here we will also soon be offering private group tastings. We will soon be taking bookings from people to join us and help create their own gin, and we've recently put a brand ambassador on the road to support our stockists. We hope you've enjoyed this little tour around Toll House Spirits. Please get in touch if we can help further. Thanks.
So as you can see, that's a fabulous video which gives you a good experience and insight into the brand and the products that they sell and their family story, which, you know, again, like Kerry says, it is really difficult to get this across when it's not in person and you've not got that tangible taste experience. But what we hope to do is in August have an in-person event which will run in partnership with this online asset. So it'll run alongside the business-to-business platform. So you'll be able to hopefully, if COVID restrictions allow, we'll be able to have that in-person event where producers can meet the buyers. In the meantime, this asset is a fantastic opportunity for you to showcase your business, for you to get in front of buyers and just get on their radar and make them aware of your products and your offering. I don't really know what else to say. Would anyone like to ask any questions about the event or about? That's fine. Bye, Kerry. Thank you very much. Kerry's got to head away.
Could I ask a question, Soph?
Of course.
Yeah. Well, two things. One thing that Kerry said, which is absolutely excellent. No, it's great. Is definitely know who you're going to sell to. I was about to pitch to CalMac a couple of years ago, and I was asked, "Have you ever been on one of their ferries?" And I was, no. They went, "Go on one. You have to go on one." The story goes that somebody from Coca-Cola turned up, and that's the first question I asked. They said, "So have you been on one of our ferries?" And the bloke said, "Oh no." They went, "Come back when you have."
Wow.
And I had left the meeting and left the man from Coca-Cola